So, Angel Beats a series which supposedly everyone has watched. But me. Even though I'm the kind of no-life that discusses anime on the internet, I like to pride myself off the belief I have better taste than everyone else. If I may make a Made in Abyss reference, the anime obscurity tier list is The Abyss, I Am Nanachi, and everyone else the red-whistled orphan with a currently unbroken limb. In my opinion, I was the Messiah, and everyone else had only watched Attack on Titan, Death Note, and maybe Naruto if they started at a younger age. But one day in June last year, I was talking to a friend and the subject of anime came up, a relative rarity of this friend, despite the fact he had actually introduced me to a handful of shows when I started out watching anime, although one of those shows is Aldnoah.Zero, hence I was kind of skeptical of him. But then he just casually dropped the bombshell that not only had he watched Toradora, but watched it 3 years before I got around to watching it. This made me realise that I was not in fact God's gift to the anime fandom, but instead on the same level as everyone else, and just more public about it. So I thought I might as well watch the one show that everyone had been bigging up, but I never got around to watching, Angel Beats, the PA Works show that put them on the map, the PA Works, so to speak. So I'm making this into a review. Why? Because I'm called Otaku without ideas, not Otaku without repeating ideas until they're milked dry. Not Bros Endgame coming soon. So it begins with our OC, Otonashi, waking up in heaven. Except heaven is a school, because the god who created it is a sick bastard. But he's not the only person who thinks this, so there's a resistant movement in the school, called the Battlefront, who seek to overthrow a girl called Angel. Angel runs the student council, who the other students, who are all just soulless NPCs, are complacent with, which make them enemies of the Battlefront. Either that or the NPCs accuse the Battlefront of being Russian bots. It's the Battlefront's job to try and stop Angel. How, you may ask? Lead exposure. What kind of lead exposure, you ask? This kind of fucking lead exposure. Now, the reason that they can pack so much heat and not care about casualties is because they can simply come back to life since, they're already dead. And this does lead to some of the best humour in the series, although there are some moments where it is meant to be seen as a sad thing, but it just kinda doesn't work when you know that killing someone is basically inconsequential. You could beat them to a pulp and then 3 minutes later they'll be saying,
"Oh shit, here we go again."
The dialogue is wonderfully fast-paced, even though the conversations basically become shouting matches, but shouting matches with skilled veterans in the art of shouting matches, which I'll take over exposition dumps any day. The animation, it's good. The colours were wonderfully vibrant, and the lighting effects were revolutionary for the time. It then went on to invent the golden formula for anime wallpapers. Just get this lighting and KyoAni's character design, and boom! You can imagine clicking on this only to find out that it's Nightcore and then desperately trying to escape. This leads me on to the characters. Now, the MC is kinda bland, but it's understandable since Angel Beats was a visual novel first, and so the main character was literally only meant to be a vessel by which the player makes inputs, so of course he's a wee bit bland. Although I don't know about a visual novel, so feel free to correct me. However, all the other characters are delightful, such as Implicit Fujoshi Bait, Explicit Fujoshi Bait, the kid who set up your Christian Minecraft server, the least adorable anime character called Sheena, SoundCloud 101, David Blaine, what 21 Pilots fans think they look like, what 21 Pilots fans actually look like, and who could forget the two frontrunners in the best girl meta, Yuripei vs Kanade. We start off the series being focused on Yuripei, showing us how she wants to be a big sister to the Battlefront, in both the context of big sister who looks out for her siblings, and big sister is watching you. She's a lot like Haruhi in the way how she commands her respective unit, except while Haruhi is God, Yuripei wants to usurp God. However, she does suffer the problem of lacking the ability to smile, which goes a long way towards waifu enjoyment. Had her competition been limited, she would have easily been best girl, but then we have Kanade, or Angel. Don't care. She's a Kurudere. Still don't care. Played by Kanahana's fuck Yuripei. Angel wins. In the second half of the series, we discover that the title of the show, Angel Beats, ! Is short for Angel Beats, Yuripei in the best girl meta. ! She has almost everything I want. A cute voice, a patable head, and a turnip fetish, although I wouldn't consider a handjob from her. The music is also decent stuff, some pretty angelic beats. See what I did there? Although I would criticise the overuse of the insert song called Brave Song, which is also the ending song. The problem with it is that the first time we hear it used outside of the ending, it's being used in a comedic effect, so it dooms itself to failure whenever anything but the instrumental is used to try and enforce the emotional stakes. Because even hearing the opening lyrics, we've been Pavloved into seeing someone dying in a comedically over-the-top way, no matter what's actually happening on screen. And I would make the complaint that this song is a tad overused, but I can't criticise any use of this song since I overuse it myself. Before I get into spoilers, I suppose I should summarize by saying I would recommend Angel Beats, but especially to people who don't watch anime or want to watch more anime, as this show will act as a good litmus test. It will introduce you to many recurring themes in anime, like school, action, and Kana Hanazawa. For those who don't want spoilers, this is the end of the video. See ya. Right, let's talk spoilers. The ending is pretty fantastic, the graduation sequence is charming, and the twist that Otonashi was Angel's donor is a decent use of his backstory, and the moment Kanade nutted herself out of existence was beautifully executed. But being nice about things doesn't get you far on YouTube, so here's a slight plot hole I noticed. Kanade says that she knew Otonashi was the one to donate her heart, because when she gave him the old Salford handshake in episode 1, she felt he had no heart. However, if Otonashi arrived in heaven in the state he was in shortly after his death, then why isn't Yui unable to move her legs, considering how she was bedridden her entire life? Why does Otonashi have blood if he has no heart to pump it around his body? Why do people have body parts in heaven if it's just a representation of their spirit? And this is why you should never focus on plot holes.